Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends, playing a little bit of catch up here. So hey, Sagat's out. He's been out for a few days now, and with Sagat, comes a new interesting character, and of course we're gonna have a companion combo guide, and the big guide we're gonna go over everything soon on the channel. But there's also a world tour update. And I always love the world tour updates because they give us a lot more lore on the characters, maybe some hints of some things that come in the future. Spoiler, I'm like 99% sure what his costume 3 is going to be now. And fun little tidbits and Easter eggs. And hey, you're looking at an all-new minigame they added as well, which comes with a pretty interesting reward, which we'll get into. So I figure in this video, let's just talk about everything we learned about Sagat in the world tour update. So first off, let's talk some story. So, I guess in a continuation of his storyline from Street Fighter V, Sagat's on a bit of a quest for peace. He's not necessarily at ease of what he did, but he knows he was a bad guy back in, the Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter 2 days. And he's trying not to be anymore. We'll go into it more when we get to the World Tour stuff, but he's not looking to be forgiven for what he did, and he expects he'll probably die for what he's pulled in the past, but he's okay with it, and he's just trying to live the best life he can now. Now, of course, as far as the arcade mode goes, you recall that Bison is sort of back again, as he always does. And just like in Bison's World Tour, where he's trying to recruit Balrog and Vega back into the crew, he wants Sagat back. And Sagat is not willing like Balrog and Vega. Vega is in it just for the chaos. Balrog is like, well, if the pay is good, and also I don't want to fight my sort of son Ed. But Sagat is not here for the zoo crew reunion. And Bison's not taking no for an answer, but this is a story to be continued at another time, it would seem. Bison states, hey, we're going to rebuild Shadaloo, I'm going to get stronger, I'm going to be back. And then I'm gonna come back for you. We're kind of basically leaving the arcade mode on a big cliffhanger. And he's been on a cliffhanger mode for a while. He left Shadaloo a long time ago. I kind of wish they had really progressed the story on this. Maybe we'll get that fabled World Tour story expansion at some point, I don't know. But we're leaving it just kind of Now as for the World Tour stuff, one thing that before you even get to it is they're giving exclusive colors for World Tour. Sagat gets an EX 1 and 2 color on his costume 2 if you do a lot of the World Tour content. Maybe they'll be purchasable down the line, I don't know. But for now, as far as I can tell, these are only available if you do World Tour. EX 1 is if you complete his entire World Tour story mode. And that new minigame we showed earlier at the top of the video, if you get pretty far in that on the hardest difficulty, that will unlock his EX 2 color. I know World Tour is not for everybody. I'm like one of the few people that actually routinely goes through this stuff, but I dig that. There's some content to reward people who actually follow through on World Tour. It's EX colors, not the main colors, but it's nice. If you're the kind of person to go through the single player content, colors is probably something you're pretty interested in. Now, as far as the World Tour stuff goes, it's another one fateful day sort of deal. So we're going through the baddies. We have a new gang introduced in the Nashal area, which is basically an evil Muay Thai gang. And through these baddies is basically how you learn how there's an even bigger, badder Muay Thai guy in the mountains. And of course, naturally, that's Sagat. And as we mentioned previously here, Sagat's more chill now. He's living the life of peace, somewhat atoning for the past as best he can, and just helping out the villagers, helping out the children, not selling drugs and guns like he used to back in the day. Of course, like how it works in every time World Tour mode, if you gotta deal with him, you gotta fist fight him first to prove that you're worthy. So you have a little bit of a fist fight, and then, hey, wouldn't you know it, you're now good in his books, you can now learn his moves, so on and so forth, yada yada yada. It's how it works on World Tour. And then we start getting the lore dumps. Like we have Nam Pueng, Sagat's student / helper. So basically, in exchange for doing a lot of his chores, Sagat teaches her Muay Thai. And in the little village we got here, it's made very clear, the village loves Sagat. The kids especially love Sagat. He knows he's scary, he knows he's terrifying, but he's not to these people. He is fully acknowledging of his criminal past. Like beatdowns, extortion, all that kind of stuff. He doesn't deny it. However, he's moved beyond it. He sort of realized, a life that's power for power's sake isn't much of a life. He still wants to be strong, but that's not the way to be truly strong. But yeah, regardless of his past, they accept him for who he is. And then playing actually the one quest line you get, like one of the side quest lines is, we want to do something nice for Sagat, so let's do a little bit of a world tour and go get some flowers. Have a lovely chat with Blanca's mother in Brazil to get some nice flowers there. You can go meet this guy in Japan, Ryu? I don't know, I've never heard of him. Go back to Nashal to get more flowers. And also, there's this really absurd side quest here. So the Muay Thai gang, they're all looking for knee cream. Because, Muay Thai is elbows and knees, right? And they feel the need to knee everything, and they need their knee cream. No, like, actually, they can't live without their knee cream. And it's going to put you on this, like, whole collectathon. It's going to take you, like, 20 minutes to half an hour. But you get them their knee cream. But more importantly, you get Nampoing the flowers there, and it just kind of leads to this whole lovely little scene. Once again, the villagers actually love Sagat, right? Like, and some other little story bits we'll go into in a little bit. They actually sort of depend on him in a lot of ways. He's not the big angry man anymore, right? If he can wear a nice little crown of flowers to be the emperor, right? He's chilled out big time since back in the day. I actually just find this whole shot just kind of lovely, all right? Like, it's not gigantic strides in character development, but it is some character development, and, we don't get a lot of that in Street Fighter. We also, from Sagat, get a lot of lore dumps, like Nao Khan, who was the original Emperor of Muay Thai, which Sagat sort of took the title from. And how did he beat him? Well, he has all sorts of power and dignity, right? But Sagat was more of a dirty fighter. He stripped him of his dignity to beat him, he says. That's how he got the title of Emperor. For another fun lore dump, remember this video from a while ago where we were talking about how Sagat's weight actually sort of fits his physique now? Well, they actually mention it. It's like, no. That was my fighting weight. Now I don't have to compete in Muay Thai anymore, so I can have my weight match what I want it to be. Successful retcon. I like it. Good. You didn't have to explain it, but you did, so I appreciate it. And speaking of appreciation, our boy Adon gets a little bit of a talk up. It's sort of Sagat crapping on him, to be honest with you. Like, hey, he was my student. As soon as I got my scar on my chest, he sort of left me. And, who knows what he's doing. So, Adon canonically at large right now. Who knows for sure, I guess. But he gets a shout-out, so that's something. Speaking of getting a shout-out, Go Hibiki, Dan's father, gets talked about. Now, he's not explicitly named by name, but he mentions, hey, this is how I lost my eye. And keeping with the Hibiki family tradition, he's sort of explicitly wearing Ryo Sakazaki's outfit here. And Go uses a peculiar style of karate, so probably a nod to Kokugen Ryu. But yeah, basically saying I had him on the ropes, took him a little unseriously, and he kicked my eye out of my friggin' head. Says he found his blind spot, which, yeah, I guess he did, right? Because now that's forever your blind spot. They fought to the death, and well, Sagat wins that fight. This has always sort of been one of the most important parts of the lore, not only for Sagat, but for Dan as well. Who would have thought this old concept art years ago, explicitly to make fun of art of fighting, would go on to have so much consequences down the line? This is sort of a fusion of Ryo and Robert, right? And it would go on to create Dan, Dan's father, and all the lore around it. And even though it's the comics, technically not canonical, but a lot of Dan's best character growth comes from this kind of stuff as well. Dan is no match for Sagat, but Sagat is willing to offer him his life in exchange. He's not that bad guy anymore, and Dan doesn't want revenge. Dan just wants his dad back. And we get more lore dumps, hey, the tiger. The tiger has a name. It's not some nameless tiger, but it's not his pet. It's his companion, if you will. They're equals. So, he helped raise them, but at some point, the cat's gonna go on and do its own journey. So maybe we get the spin-off game with the cat at some point. I don't know. But yeah, so hi, we have tiger lore. And that's not the only tiger lore we're going to get as well. We're going to get more later. Also, hey, talking about his time at Shadaloo. Again, once again, it kind of weighs heavily on him in that he knows he was kind of stupid. He wishes he didn't do it. It took Ryu carving a hole in his chest to realize, oh, wait, maybe this whole crime syndicate stuff's not for me. And talking about the villager stuff again and his potential outfit 3. So he says he doesn't care what he looks like. And sure enough, you probably don't wear that if you care what you look like. But he's saying, hey, the villagers will bring him to the big city to kind of look menacing for them. And like, look at this suit here. It's a nice suit, got the pinstripes going down. It's got like a little tiger motif here on the side. Like, it's a good look. Like, I really, really hope this is his outfit 3. This is sort of what they pulled with Terry Bogard, right? They gave us a little bit of a preview of the outfit 3 in the World Tour. I think they're doing much the same here with Sagat. But yeah, just through virtue of being big and imposing, Sagat helps the villagers be the muscle just because look at the guy, right? It sort of works. It sort of works. Also, thinking he secretly likes the chocolate. He says, oh, it's not for me, but he gets a pretty big skill up for leaving him the chocolate. Like, that's a lot. And actually, when you max out a social, he talks again about Shalu, because how could you not, right? It's sort of like one of the defining features of the character. But there's a pretty good line here. I don't expect absolution. I don't expect to die an honorable death, right? He's not looking to become the fully redeemed hero. So if someone takes him out for what he did, like, good on him, I guess. That's why he was willing to die for Dan. Like, you can see here the Sagat cinematic universe characters, and Dan's in there along with the heavy hitters like Ryu and Bison. So until the day comes, I guess he's just trying to chill out. Even more lore. Hey, why is he wearing a tiger skin? Isn't that sort of messed up, right? So a tiger was poached. He sort of killed the poacher and then basically made a fur out of him to honor the tiger. Seems appropriately Sagat enough to me. But now we gotta talk about a rock. So there's a certain rock that appears at different parts of the stage, and you can fight the rock. The conspicuous stone. You know, it puts up quite a fight. You gotta figure out, I didn't figure it out right away. It basically only can get hit by lows, right? But yeah, so it's a little bit of a reference. For one, once you beat it, you can wear the rock on your head, you know, if you want the ultimate style choice for your character. But Sagat and a moving rock have a lot of history, and this is a pretty deep cut. So there's a rock in Sagat Street Fighter 2 stage. Okay, sure enough, right? The thing is, between rounds, the rock can move around just a little bit. So basically, in World Tour, we got a mini-boss of the moving rocks. So once again, that's a pretty deep cut, right? But that's exactly the kind of stuff I love about World Tour, is when they get, like, silly with it. And when you beat the rock moves around. It goes somewhere else, right? And it'll appear at various parts of his World Tour stage. And to close out the Sagat World Tour storyline, hey, we gotta talk about the Satsui Nohado. So, Sagat has suffered from the Satsui Nohado in multiple ways, as he himself has suffered from it, because, you know, it's the desire to win, it's the intent to kill, and it's also how Ryu beat his ass and put that scar on his chest. So it's always been a thing in his life. And this is something, you know, other lore's brought up, you know, because all power seems to kind of have the same root. So everyone will deal with it in some way, shape, or form. And hey, now it's time to go talk to Ryu. And so Ryu gives you a little bit of a lore dump. And to be honest with you, I don't love his answer here. It's kind of wishy-washy, as he's like the only person to like clearly defeat it. Like, he's done with the Satsui Nohado in his current incarnation, right? He has the power of nothingness now. And he just kind of gives a, you know, look and find your own answer, I guess. I don't know. I know it worked for me. And so then you, Mr. World Tour, Johnny World Tour, must face your own Satsui Nohado in battle. And actually, I find this is kind of fun, because it actually does give your character the Akuma moveset while this is up. And seeing my dumb World Tour character look like this in, like, a more serious character, I'm sure this would, like, mean something more. But for me, like, sure, whatever. But yeah, hey, face Satsui Nohado, face yourself, yada yada yada. Sagat's battle to Satsui Nohado, as explained in Street Fighter V, honestly not explained that much, sadly, but that's what we get. And when you complete this, you unlock EX Dye, that we talked about at the beginning of the video here. So you unlock a color that's only through World Tour for Sagat. And that's the Sagat World Tour experience. So unlike some other character World Tours, there's no big hints for like the plot going forward or potential DLC characters down the road. Although, who even knows? Like, they hit us over the head with Vega and Balrog, like Vega especially, right? They introduced new characters into his lore that never existed before. They gave him voiceover work in multiple languages, and then, well, he's not a Season 3 character, turns out. So I don't even know what the plan with that was, to be honest with you. Maybe Season 4? I don't know. We'll see. But, you know, at least, hey, the lore we got is pretty interesting. We got some deep cuts like the rock lore being brought back. We have a potential hint at his outfit 3, and I really hope it is, because that suit looks real slick on him. And of course, we have Viper, we got Alex, we got Ingrid especially. Holy crap, like what are they even going to do? They're going to have to invent all sorts of lore for Ingrid. Because who even knows there? So lots of lore for Ingrid. Viper is working for CERN as of her little trailer. And CERN is the remnants of sin. They're not the good guys. So did she turn bad, or is she doing the secret agent stuff still? And Alex looks like a Bullet Club reject, so I don't know. And we have to explain Street Fighter 3 at some point, right? It's been 20 plus years. At some point, we gotta explain what exactly the hell happened with Gil. So, I don't know. Alex is the time if there ever was one. But that's a little bit of a lore dump on World Tour, what happened. There'll be some more Sagat coverage to come. We'll have the combo guide. We'll have the big character guide, probably over an hour long. I'll make sure to have a lot of good stuff for you. And until then, well, I guess that's it. And I guess that's the end of the video. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. And go out and play some Street Fighter.
This is the love making.